Would you please welcome our esteemed, illustrious Executive Director, Jessica Lawmaster. Here she is. Hi, Jessica.
So thank you so much for being here today. I'm excited to get to talk to you about what counting on community means to me. When I hear the phrase counting on community, I think of PEPS and all of you and the countless stories that I've heard from PEPS parents. One story that has stayed with me over the years is about a new mom who was struggling with intense sleep deprivation. Like, not your average new baby sleep problems, but a chronic health condition that led to months of sleepless nights. She was exhausted. Midway through her PEPS experience, she walked into her group one week with no words and just tears streaming down her face. Within moments, one of her fellow PEPS moms was at her side, taking her baby from her into her arms. Another mom quietly greeted her and guided her up the stairs to a bedroom where she gently tucked her into bed. For the first time in months, she slept. This mom's PEPS group gave her the gift of sleep, the priceless gift of sleep, and they were able to do that because they truly saw her. Being in community with one another requires that we see one another and that we ourselves are seen. Like the mom that we heard from, whose young son was diagnosed with autism, and as a result, she withdrew, isolating herself, no longer sure of how to engage with the world. Her PEPS group showed up for her. They nurtured her. They got her out of the house. They insisted on it. And they showed her that she, her son, and her PEPS group still belonged. And really, when we talk about feeling seen and heard in a PEPS group, we're really talking about the broader communities that we're all a part of. That wonderful feeling that we feel when we are connected in our PEPS group is really what community looks like at its best. Showing up for one another. And it's really not that different than being a parent, right? We're all raising our children and tending to our own individual families. But we as parents, we're always thinking about the kiddos who come play at our house, the friends at the neighborhood park, classmates at school, the wider world that we're sharing our children with. So, in the coming years, as PEPS is deepening our own impact and reaching even more families, we'll also be taking action in the broader community in an effort to advance racial equity. Why racial equity? Well, we see the dire needs that exist for growing families. Access to prenatal care, infant and maternal mortality rates, affordable childcare, kindergarten readiness. For all of these issues, people of color are the most negatively impacted. So this is where we focus. For PEPS, being committed to racial equity means that while we're striving to make our work better, we'll also be stepping out beyond ourselves and showing up in the community. We'll support efforts and work with organizations who are already making big impacts. We will venture into advocacy work, which I hope you'll all join us in. And we will broaden our definition of parent support. So just as PEPS provides support around parenting issues like feeding and sleeping, we'll be incorporating resources into our programming around babies' identity development, talking with your kids about race and difference, raising kids in diversity, and building community. When a new parent is without community, an already vulnerable and fragile time becomes further isolating. Reminded of a PEPS story about a new mom who didn't realize it at the time, but was deeply suffering from perinatal depression, so significantly that her husband just knew not to leave her side. She realized this when she left her house for the very first time and walked into her first PEPS group while her husband waited in the car for her outside. Through the connection she found in her group that day, she was able to see herself, and she knew that she needed more help. She and her baby left that PEPS group that day and got back in the car and her husband drove them to the hospital, where she found the help that she needed. Throughout her journey, her PEPS group was there for her. As we deepen our impact at PEPS, our board of directors and our staff have been engaged in listening, learning, and analysis of how to adapt and make changes to ensure that diversity and equity are at the forefront of everything we do, and that PEPS offers the opportunity for connection and support to every single parent who shows up. This past year, we produced 8 new training videos for our PEPS group leaders that share examples and expertise around facilitating groups and creating safe spaces to share. Last year, we partnered with 3 organizations in Snohomish County and brought parent support to teen moms, a program that had no participation fee and where the moms received high school credit. During this intense time of transition for these new moms, this group provided them with a space to see one another and themselves, not just as students and teenagers, but as mothers. This year, we'll be making meaningful changes to our PEPS group leader training to provide even more tools for our wonderful leaders, many of you who are in the room, for fostering connection and support. And we'll do a complete review of our curriculum and our materials and add to them to ensure that our values around diversity and equity are reflected in everything we do. We will be removing barriers to access to PEPS by reworking our fee structure and piloting a pay-what-you-can fee model in which parents can afford what program fee, or can choose which program fee they can afford. We'll work alongside incredible organizations, and we'll continue to work directly with parents and communities to ensure that our efforts are responding to relevant needs. This is all big work, and it's transformative work, and it's a journey that PEPS is committed to for the long haul. And we can't do it on our own. We'll be learning from and working with amazing community leaders and organizations and parents. And by being here today, you're not only on this journey with us, but you're helping make it possible. So thank you. Thank you for investing in our vision of the day in which every new parent has a community to count on. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Jessica.